All right, we're coming in hot right out the gate, not waiting for anybody. A little off day, quarterback school live, do it live. Why not? A little Tuesday, midday Tuesday, hanging out with whoever decides to pop in and talk a little ball. It's that time of year. Feels like we're about halfway. People starting to separate themselves, so to speak. I'm excited. We got a little short round in the house. Do me a favor, as you come in, make sure to hit the like, get the questions in. Again, as you know, if you're coming in hot to the live, there's never a better time to get the question in than right out the gate. So let's see if I can keep this thing going here, get to as many as we possibly can. But again, I appreciate y'all hanging out, coming in for a little midday matinee, quarterback school style. My guy Mike, what's good? Appreciate y'all have enjoyed a lot of the content out recently. What am I thinking of? Fields, Tua. What else are we going to get to this week? If there are things that you want to see this week that you might not think I'm going to get to, I'm going to try to do the Drake Maycat. I think that's his name, from UNC at some point. If you have more games than just the Notre Dame film, feel free to share with me. Who else am I trying to get to? I want to try to do maybe the TCU, maybe Texas again. We'll see how quickly I can get in with the college all 22. It doesn't quite come as fast as some of the others. So I appreciate y'all being patient. Let me know some of the things you want to see on the channel. It's always fun for me to be able to give the content that y'all want to see. I personally want to see certain things that I know you probably get tired of me showing on the channel. But like, for instance, at some point I'm going to go watch the Colts from this past weekend. I'm just curious as hell to see what the hell it looked like. I have no idea. I know that they won, and that's about it. My man Mike checking in, Landon checking in. Short round. Short round, you're putting one on the tee for me right out the gate. Where would Bryce Young have been in your quarterback rankings in last year's draft? Oh, last year's draft. I don't even know. I don't even remember who was in the rankings last year. I know it must be hard for people to get, and I don't want this to come off sideways, but I really, really dislike rankings, and I really dislike doing them. I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about it. I really just kind of like, it essentially sorts itself out, almost like a depth chart. Like, it sorts itself out. The more that you watch, the more that you see, it kind of it becomes an easy choice, so to speak. But I don't know where Bryce Young would be in last year's. Dante Lima, JT, in your opinion, studying Tua's tape from last year to this year, what has been the biggest demonstrable improvements that stats might not show? I don't know if there's one biggest thing. It's probably the aggregate of many different things, from the play calling, the system, the coaching, obviously the weapons on the perimeter with Tyreek Hill being added. I would also probably say just his overall health. Like, he looks more like I imagine healthy Tua looking, like, as far as being twitchy and strong. And he's not the smoothest cat in the world. He's almost got like that kind of like yank throw, but it looks powerful and it looks like it's coming off his hand how he wants it to. So all those things, I think. Boom. Connor, I don't know, bro. I haven't watched very much of the 49ers offense. Usually, if I watch it, it's a video. That's kind of how it works for me. Oh, Ellison Lord, you're putting this thing right on a tee for me. I appreciate you. Let's see what you got. Do you think Josh Allen is trying to do too much this season, considering his decision-making at times? Ellison Lord, tomorrow's video is Josh Allen. I just got done filming it. It is rendering as we speak. Do I think he's consider his decision-making at times? I don't know if it's hard for me to come to the conclusion that it's his decision-making, because when you're not in the quarterback room, you don't really know exactly what the decision should be. I can tell you just from looking at the film, it looks like he's kind of excelling at the extremes. And so what I mean by that is, when he's getting the ball off on time, in rhythm, with clean decisions, we'll use your phrase, it looks really good. You see anticipation, you see winning outside the numbers, you see driving the ball down the field. And then the other extreme, where things just break down, whether it's an L up front or there's no one there and he's got to get out of the pocket and get to his right and make a scramble play and convert a third and crazy long. He's doing great things, whether he's running it himself or creating outside the pocket. It's that tweener world for me where I think he does kind of try to, I use the phrase, I think hero ball, but force things might be as accurate. And it's just a little bit off, whether it's the timing, the rhythm, the accuracy, the expectations for what his teammates are doing on the perimeter, the details of that kind of like, it's not perfect, but let's not make a bad play a disaster. He's had a few where he's made bad plays or things that weren't there super clean, disasters. And, the output is that you're going to lose some games. So yeah, that's tomorrow's video. Have fun with that. Oh, Johnny, my man. Appreciate you saying nice job on the podcast. I haven't seen it come out yet, but I'm excited to share it when I see it. Landon Oliver just scored a copy of Finding the Winning Edge. Whoa, good for you, bro. Those are not cheap, I don't think. Some other books you'd recommend. I think I have a book video out somewhere. If I don't, I will let you know that I usually keep a running list of kind of off-season video topic ideas. And I'm thinking about doing, I don't know what it would be like, maybe an email thing or something where I kind of go, just because I get asked this, it seems like a lot to me, to go kind of like almost like bookshelf by bookshelf with maybe like a picture and like my favorites to be able to give a little bit more consistent book recommendations. That's just an idea. Don't lose your mind if you're not a reader. Boom. What else we got? Joe, my man. Sup? Cheers. Have you watched much film on Carr this year? It's so mind-blowing that he went from what seemed really good to now what seems really struggling. Is it the new offense? So I haven't watched much. I think I did a Carr video maybe for the Patreon community. It felt, I think the easiest way I would put it is disjointed. And I can tell you that and I'm sure Josh's offense has evolved since, well over a decade ago that I was in what they were doing in New England. That versus the West Coast, significantly different. Now, I really enjoyed it because it was just refreshing to me. I'd been in the West Coast for so long up until that point that it was nice to see how other people did it. But to me, what some things in the West Coast feel like are a little bit more intuitive, even though they are jargon heavy. The McDaniels stuff for me felt foreign and almost like counterintuitive as far as how they were doing certain things and reads and stems of the receivers and expectations. And so I could see how it would come across as disjointed in play. Now, he'd be the only one that Carr would be the only one that would really tell you if that's how he feels. But it just feels like things are harder than he's used to them being. And so when you put those things together and now all of a sudden you're struggling or you're trying to make plays that aren't there, or you're feeling the pressure that we should be better than we are, and you're taking L's all the time, it's tough. My man Mike, appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the support with the channel as well. All right, we got 50 of our closest friends hanging out in here. If you haven't coming in and hit the like, I appreciate it if you do. We're in here just taking Q&A here, talk a little ball here, see how long this thing goes till I get hungry. Jacob didn't watch the last Packers win. I don't think. I don't even remember who they played, so sorry. What we got? Shane Paul just tuned in on the book talk. I found a PDF of the Delaware Wing Tea book. I have the Delaware Wing Tea book. I know nothing about the wing tea, so I'm looking forward to it. I will tell you, this is going deep dive into more of the coaching world, so forgive me if you don't coach ball, but if you're in here, you probably care enough about football to know. When I was coaching high school football, I felt really confident with certain things I was teaching, but then I felt like I didn't have all the answers I wanted in the run game. And so I just spent a lot. And I think if you followed me at the time, you probably saw some of the stuff I was reading because I tried to share it on my normal Twitter account, like my personal one. And I deep dived into every type of run offense I could think of, and so went deep down the wing tee, went down a bunch of different run offenses just to kind of see if there were pieces of their systems and structures that I could incorporate into what we were doing. And we did use quite a bit. We went from really a zone running team the first year to much more of a comprehensive run game where we carried a lot of gap runs, a lot of RPOs, a lot of zone runs. We never really got to, using all of them. I had a whole G series I wanted to get to. Didn't get to just because we didn't need to, but I enjoy the run game. I think it comes across a little bit in the channel if you pay attention to it enough, but I know it's not for everybody, so I try to stay conscious of that. Grambo 4, do you think Fields could enter that top 15 category next season? I don't know what that means, top 15 category. Like top 15 quarterback? Sure. James, is Joe Lombardi ruining Herbert? I mean, I've stayed away from the Chargers a little intentionally just because I felt like I was so wrong on Herbert and just like categorically missed, and probably have not necessarily forgiven myself enough about what I didn't see on the film that translated so quickly to the league. So I don't really have a good answer for you. I think I also live in San Diego, so everybody around here is still recovering from the Chargers, so I don't feel too bad about it. Lamar, appreciate the kind words. Ba-boom. Thomas, love when you go into the O-line blocking for the run. Okay, see? So there's a couple of you out there. I actually think there are more than know about it. I think many people just, like myself, because I was there, not too long ago. Even, I played in the league for essentially a decade. I didn't feel like I was fluent in the run game as far as being able to. I could tell you what run it was, but I couldn't tell you the rules. I couldn't tell you the blocking assignments. I couldn't tell you how to fix things or how to make things right with certain fronts or movements or, any of those things that I certainly feel much more confident and competent nowadays. So I have fun talking about it. It's just one of those things where, it's not run game school. Boom. What else we got? Sunny L, JT, don't want to ask another Fields question, but he's going to. But how much are you loving his improvement in play fakes and hiding the ball in play action? Is that a talent or something you work on tirelessly? I don't think it's either a talent or something you work on tirelessly. I think it's just something that you just get coached up to do. You realize that it works and that it's important and that it helps the offense, and your coaching stays on you to do it correctly. I actually didn't think this last game that his fakes were as good as 2 weeks ago. Now, he had that one amazing fake, but I think all of his fakes probably could have been a little bit better or more polished. I don't know if that's a hot take per se, but I think it's just something you got to stay after. You got to have your quarterback coach on your rear every practice, every ball handling drill, every exchange drill, every drill with the backs, every team drill, every run period, every game. And you got to realize that it matters, and you got to take pride in it. Like anything. Johnny Utah is a quarterback coaching legend, or is a legendary QB. Kev B, you got to go back and watch my, God, what the hell did I call that video? Like top 5 movie quarterbacks or something? Celebrity quarterbacks, maybe? I forget. Chris Evans, my guy, slipped right through. Didn't see you. Thanks for checking in. Mike, I know I wasn't the only one, but still, it was a weird miss. I really feel like someday I'm going to go back and watch the Herbert videos, like just the all 22, no commentary over them, and just see like, okay, like we've seen him do that in the league, or we've seen him do this more consistently. And the other thing is maybe his coaches, can't put it, maybe his coaches just didn't utilize him. We see coaches all the time not utilize their quarterback skill sets. You can think of like just as recent as Matt Nagy as a guy you look at and be like, oh, how the hell did we, Fields wasn't even playing, let alone using him to his full capacity, or like the capacity that the Bears are using Fields right now. Georgia Bird coming in hot. What made you want to be a QB? That's a question I don't know if I've ever been asked. Stumped me. I have to go all the way back to when the first time that I really played quarterback. I guess when I was in grade school, first time I really played quarterback was 5th grade flag football. And I think I just looked up to the guys who were playing quarterback at the older teams. I don't know. I think everybody just wanted to be quarterback. I don't remember there ever being like what made you want to be quarterback. I definitely didn't feel like pressure from my parents to play quarterback. I just enjoyed baseball, could throw it a little bit. Just wanted the ball, maybe just crazy selfish. I don't know. It's a good question. Probably have to do some like super deep psychoanalysis to figure out why. Nick, my man, did you ever have a coach that changed the way you look at the game? Probably. I think they all probably change elements of how I look at it. I'm trying to think if I could like one overarching one that made me really change how I look at the game holistically. Probably if I had to say one that just kind of changed the way that I think about a number of things would be Mike Martz, just because I had been West Coast and then I transitioned to Digit, and the things that he was asking me to do at the quarterback position were different than what we were doing in the West Coast consistently. And so that probably changed it a little bit, but I didn't change the game per se. It was just like where we spent our time and focus changed a little bit. Boo! Aisha, as always, coming in hot. Definitely don't have to do that, but I appreciate the support. As always. My man Joe had to deal with me, probably throwing behind him at some point. All right. Sean? Man, I'm going to butcher that. Is that how you pronounce your first name, Donahue? I've never seen the double A, so I apologize. In a world of two high safeties, is design quarterback run threat going to become more prevalent to get teams out of those looks to generate more big plays passing? No. The only way you stop true quarterback run game numbers wise is two high safeties, or essentially zero. You call it two high safeties, I might call it zero. So no, I mean, quarterback run game gets you out of any type of, soft coverage where you're going to have safeties not in the run fits, and really you need to have both safeties in the run fits to be able to have the numbers to be able to do it. Neil, no, they're just very relaxing. I actually sometimes bugs me a little bit. Sometimes I got to move around. Locked in. What do you want? Like some crazy gyrations? You want me to do like some throwing motion impersonations? That would actually be a good video. Oh, look at that. Just came up with an idea right out the gate. Adrian Gerard. Do you consider Dak Prescott an elite quarterback? I don't know. I mean, what do you consider elite? I probably, if I had to make up my definition for what elite is, as far as like the top quote unquote tier or category of guys, I don't think of Dak like immediately in that bucket. I know he does a lot of things really well. I don't necessarily love watching that offense and watching him, so that's why you probably don't see it that much on this channel. Also, bizarrely, and no offense, because I know that there are a lot of Cowboys people out there, but Cowboys people just don't engage and interact with my channel very much, and so I don't feel, like necessarily the pull that I might to have to do or to do Cowboy stuff all the time, because honestly, nobody asked for it, so I don't mind not doing it. My man Caleb coming in hot. Appreciate you checking in. Make sure as you come in, like, subscribe, whatever, comment. While I have 80 of our closest friends here, reminder. Well, Patreon community always. But what I really wanted to hit, the courses. There will never be a bigger sale than Black Friday for the quarterback school courses. If you've been eyeballing these, and there's some expensive ones on there will be significant savings. You will be saving lots of cash if you go Black Friday with the sale. Make sure you're part of the email thing. You can get your email in the hat by signing up for any of the free resources. Have a bunch of free resources. Get your mind right. Lock those prices in because they're not going down. Put it that way. There you go, Shane. Sorry. All right, Cheesy 16. Who do you think is the most exciting offense to watch right now? Miami? Question mark? I'm Ron Burgundy? I don't know. Does anyone not say Miami? I guess I don't really think of it as offense. I just think of it as like high-level quarterback play. Like I like watching all the quarterbacks that play at the highest level play. I like watching Mahomes. I like watching Allen. I like watching Tua. I enjoy watching Fields by how he's being used right now. My man Chris, appreciate the kind words with the pass protection course. Oh man. Who do you see having the greatest career out of the 2021 quarterback class? Josh. I don't know, bro. Who's even in the 2021 quarterback class? Is that Fields and Lance and Lawrence? I mean, the rankings are the rankings when they come from me. I haven't changed any of them. What else we got here? Oh, man. Jacob going hypothetical on me here. Let me see if I can walk through this mental gymnastics. Do you think, hypothetically, if Aaron Rodgers went to the 49ers next year, they'd be a Super Bowl caliber team? Jacob, hypothetically, I would say probably any quarterback in the league that was playing for the 49ers, that would be a Super Bowl team. Is that a hot take? I mean, tell me a quarterback who's a true starter in the league that if he was playing for the 49ers, they wouldn't be a Super Bowl caliber team, is how I would flip it back to you probably. Boom. Mr. Roddy Swift coming in hot with the emojis. Impressive. Thanks for the support. Chris Beatty. Is Heineke the starter over Wentz? I would probably say neither. I didn't watch the game, but I've seen Heineke play in the past. No, I mean, obviously, he's doing something right over there, and he's got them going what seemingly is in the right direction. Impressive on a lot of different levels. But when I turn on the Heineke film from what I've seen in the past, and I didn't watch the game, he's not someone that I would say a franchise is going to be like. He's our dude. Let's roll with that. Now, he might get like a Davis Mills situation where like, okay, we'll give you a year, here's a cheapo deal, and we'll try to build the roster up around us. But, do I see them from anything I've seen so far saying, yeah, he's our cat for the next decade? That might be harsh, but no is really the answer. Boom. Occidens, back at it. Appreciate it. Live stream, boom, love it. Please come OC for the Bears when they lose Getsy to the head coach somewhere. Yeah, that's what happens when you see coaches on the up, and that's just part of life in the league. You gotta be able to have somebody. Really, I would say most head coaches have probably a list, at least if they don't have a hard list, like a list in their head of, hey, if my staff gets poached, who are we gonna slide into this? And it can be hard. Like, look, for instance, and this is just recency bias on my own thing, but like, I'm interested to see how Ken Dorsey does in Buffalo. When I turn on the Buffalo film, and the Buffalo is going to be a video tomorrow, Josh Allen video, the scheme doesn't look quite the same as it has in the past. And I mean, besides for the like critical errors that cost them that game against the Vikings, there's not a lot of like schemed up winners. Yeah, they can win outside the numbers because they've got some talented wide receivers and Josh Allen can drive the ball down the field. But when you look as far as like the layered game plan and scheming type of things, it's tough to replace somebody who's really good at that. There's really not a whole lot of guys who are proven great at that. And if they are proven great at that, they're usually head coaches somewhere really quickly. And so you kind of have to take that into account as a head coach and making all those hires and developing your staff. Just like most of y'all probably think, hey, why don't the coaches coach the players? Well, the coaches also have to be developing the coaches to be able to take those ranks. And that's why I think it's so impressive when you see, guys like who? Like Saban, guys like Belichick maybe not as much, to be able to like develop their staff to have people step in and seemingly not miss a beat, because that's hard to do. Frank Fusco, your take on Josh Allen tomorrow video. Enjoy. Justin Tindis. I don't know if that's how you say your last name, bro, but you're going to have to get to the Patreon community. for the Justin Fields Week 10 video. It's up. It's been up. Full game, every play. Dive in. Enjoy. D. Larso, 15. Top 10 passer in the next 3 to 4 years. Sure. Rankings. I love rankings from quarterbacks. And so anytime I can make a top 10 list, it's one of my favorite things to do. And I think it's super sup relevant. Oh, Shay Donahue. Who's your favorite non-quarterbacks to watch in the league? Seems like Tyreek Hill is up there for you. That's a good question. I guess I don't necessarily think of it like who's my favorite to watch, but Tyreek Hill is up there for me. I like watching Kelsey as well. I like watching, who's the big left tackle for the 49ers? Williams. I don't necessarily know. I can't think of anybody defensively that I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to watch that film. There really aren't guys like that. I think the thing that I appreciate the most from non-quarterback guys, specifically on the perimeter, is just the capacity to separate. You know, they might not get the ball, but are they winning consistently? You know, that's what I always felt like when I turned on the film of teams that I was playing for or coaching for. And I used to tell the perimeter guys, the wide receivers, like, hey, they'd be complaining about, hey man, I'm only getting like whatever 4 or 5 touches a game. How do I get more touches? Well, separate, win. If you're winning on film constantly, we're going to get you the ball. I'm going to throw you the ball. I'm going to call plays for you. I'm not going to have someone win on film and be like, oh, that guy sucks. We're not going to get him the rock. So if people are winning consistently on film, you know, that's what I like to watch. Joe coming in hot with Judon on D. You're right. I do feel like I've seen a lot of Judon with the red sleeves on defense. I've also seen the Detroit Lions defense, bizarrely, like way too many times. Because I know I see Rodrigo and Thor and Billie Jean out there all the time. So I need to start seeing some other stuff. Cody, I know you're a fan of Bryce Young, but do you at all worry about his size in the NFL? I mean, I worry about everybody's size in the NFL. I do agree he is on the light side. Yeah, I mean, he's on the light side, but he's going to get bigger. I mean, I think, I would imagine. Shane Cram, what NFL system coach would you like to see paired up with Bryce Young? Oh, man. That's tough. I sent out a random tweet like over the weekend. I don't know why it hit me. I think it hit me just because I was watching Alabama. But, you know, the hard thing, and Trevor Lawrence is going through this a little bit right now, when you're the number 1 pick, it is a blessing and a curse. I know it's hard for people to realize, but it's not always a great thing to be taken high because you go to the shittiest team and usually the shitty organization. You know, there's not a whole lot of great organizations consistently picking first. You know, that's just the reality of it. And so if you're going to a crummy organization, you're probably going to a crummy coach or a new coach or a coach who's never been a head coach, a play caller who's never been a play caller. Not that that is a prerequisite because it's always somebody's first at some point. But, you know, as far as trying to like smooth the on-ramp for what Bryce Young can be in the league, I would love for him to go to someone like, you know, it's easy to say Mike McDaniels right now because of what he's doing with Tua, but someone who isn't stuck in their ways to say, hey, this is our offense. Come in, learn our offense. We're going to run our offense. Like, no, let's take a look at the landscape of the league, realize all these young guys are coming in playing at a high level because we're doing what they do well. We're matching their skill set with our system and our players and our personnel. So I'd want him to be around someone who's adaptive and kind of front edge as far as offensively what their options are, because the dude is a legitimate point guard playing quarterback, can deal, can get out of issues, can make plays, and I really, really have a fun watching him. Curtis Wood, are people sleeping on the quarterback from UNC? I mean, I'm sleeping on him a little bit right now because I'm not that interested to go watch him. I will watch him at some point, but isn't he a freshman? Like, he's not going to come out of the draft anytime soon. I'm excited to see it. You know, I think UNC is a little bit of that Ohio State quarterback vibe thing right now, where people are kind of tethering, you know, that system to quarterback production. I don't know. That's just my own take. Probably pretty lazy. We're going to go here for maybe about 5 more minutes. See how long I can make it. I just ran out of water, so my throat is going to become pretty dry pretty quick. But let's see if we got a few more questions in here. Joe, have you ever done a video on what nutrition training is like? No, but I think I talked about it on the last live, which is not a great answer because no one's going to go back through the whole live just to hear me ramble about nutrition. But that's a good idea for the off season for sure. I think it's way better nowadays than it ever was. I know the guys who are, the top quote unquote tier talent guys, do the whole personal chef, personal trainer, and that thing, the whole everything lifestyle element that Tom Brady has made so quote unquote really popular. I didn't do that. Shocker. There you go. All right. Cody, if you're the Carolina Panthers, do you draft a quarterback or roll with Matt Corral next year? You draft a quarterback, bro. That was easy. I wish all the questions were that easy. That's amazing. Drew Forsyth. Sorry, last name. Is there a mechanic that is the easiest to fix? Footwork, arm angle. I think I know what your question is trying to say. Quarterback mechanics wise, what's the easiest thing to fix? None of them are easy. None of them are easy. The easier is probably the footwork. I think it can be a learned trait. I really, and this is different for everybody. Okay, this is just me. Okay, anecdotally here. I really don't like messing with arm action or like the release of someone. I've only ever done it once. Didn't work out. It was a nightmare. I don't recommend it. I think there are things you can do to increase your velocity or consistency of your stroke, but once you're at a certain age, I really feel like it's hard to do. I know I changed mine a number of times, and eventually I thought it was best when it was just at its natural kind of rhythm to it and efficient, but that's just me. So footwork would be the answer. All right. Whoa. No idea what my man Judas is talking about. Is Tua, Loopy, I don't know, bro. All right. You guys are all excited about the draft already, man. Holy moly. It'll be here soon. If your team needs a quarterback, they're going to get a quarterback. But we're not there right now. We're in the middle of the season. We're fighting through kind of November football. This is really where this football season starts. I know maybe that's not how people think about it, especially if you're a college football fan because things winding down. But if you're in the league, the season hasn't started yet. I always think of the real season of the NFL is Thanksgiving to the end of the year and really well through the end of the year. But this is where you really got to have that capacity to kind of like hyper focus and bring everything into like, hey, what do we need to do collectively to make sure we're playing our best ball post Thanksgiving? And it's not easy to do because you're dealing with nicks and bruises and everybody's beat up and you're dealing with bye weeks and all sorts of, issues as far as, maybe you're on some crummy team and your coach is getting fired or your coach has already been fired. There's all sorts of craziness that goes on this time of year. So locked in, going to enjoy the heck out of the rest of the year and excited you guys hung out on a little random Tuesday live. So thanks so much for supporting the channel. Tomorrow, Josh Allen. Let me know who else you want to see, potentially specifically if you're a quarterback school Patreon community member, who you want to see over at the Patreon community for the rest of the week. And then, we're going to ramp this thing up. Black Friday, right around the corner. Get your mind right. Course game. All right. Thanks so much for hanging. I will see you next time. Have a good one.